Hey keepers, I've noticed a lot of subscribers come to the channel looking for tips on how to do well in their tryouts. So I put together an informative video on what most coaches are looking for at the club and high school level. Before you decide to try out for a team, there are a few aspects of goalkeeping you must know, and they are the main things that most coaches expect from a keeper. These subjects are positioning, handling, attacking high balls, the ability to dive, and simple distribution techniques. A keeper who can hit all these points on the checklist will have a well-rounded performance. Remember, shot stopping is only a small part of what goalkeepers do in a game. Most of the time they are positioning themselves and staying focused on the game. A bad pass out of the back can lead to an easy goal, and a botched catch can lead to a terribly easy goal. So it's highly recommended that you be able to do well in all of these subjects to become an actual contender for the starting spot on your team. The first area, and arguably the most important aspect of goalkeeping, is positioning. Making sure you are in the right spot will make most, if not all, shots a lot easier to save, and at times force the striker to miss the goal entirely. One of the most important parts for positioning is to always stalk the ball with your chest centered with the ball. This means that you are following the ball as it makes its way towards the goal, shuffling side to side, and always on your toes, ready for a snap shot or a loose ball that might need to be cleared out. Remember, the more you come off your line, the smaller the goal seems to the striker, but at the same time, the more you come out, the easier it is to get chipped. Every keeper is a different height, which makes the typical positioning unique to them. So keep that in mind if you like to run out of the goal super fast. But also, if you are a keeper that likes to stay on the line of the goal, you will be giving the striker a much easier target to pick out. It comes down to practice to find your own sweet spot. I personally like to add a little bounce to my movement, imagining my legs as some sort of spring and always building up my energy with a few quick bounces on my toes. Make sure that you look over your shoulder from time to time to make sure that you aren't cheating too much to one side. If you position yourself well, most shots will come straight to your body and make you look like a top-notch keeper. The next point ties itself in perfectly with positioning. If you can get into the right position, most shots will come straight to your frame. And coaches want to see keepers catch and hold on to most, if not all, shots that come straight at the keeper. This is best done by getting your chest completely behind the ball and using the W technique or the diamond technique. Make sure your feet are parallel and you aren't stepping back or away from the ball. You must watch the shot go into your hands and focus on getting your hands on the top two squares of the soccer ball, which will force the ball down for an easy bounce collection if you can't control it on the first hit. But do not let this become your main form of catching. Batting the ball down is only a stopgap measure to make sure it does not roll over your hands into the goal. A keeper that can hold on to hard shots that come straight to their body is at a huge advantage, especially at the younger level where keepers like to parry the ball more or turn a simple hold into an unnecessary dive. Most keepers have a terribly hard time gaining confidence for collecting and attacking the high balls. This can prove fatal in games where keepers would rather let the ball bounce once or twice in front of them instead of attacking the ball at the highest point. As a keeper, we must remember that we can outjump and outreach everyone on the field, which means we have a duty to attack the ball at the highest point. Once that ball is floating into your box, the keeper must decide to go for the ball. Arms stretched out as far as possible and a knee up to stabilize and protect themselves from rushing attackers. The keeper must also make it known that the ball is theirs. This means a booming keeper call is needed to warn your defenders to shield the attackers off or to get out of the way because you will knock them over. Once you collect a few high balls and rattle a striker or two, you will see that the other team will send less high balls into the box and less strikers will happily run into it. All keepers like to imagine themselves making those diving saves, but honestly, a keeper should not have to dive often in a game. They should only be diving when they are caught out of position or if the striker is able to take a superb shot. But the ability to dive is a necessary aspect for keepers wanting to play for a team and for a good showing at your tryout. The first few steps to diving correctly are a good keeper position and a nice simple power step towards the ball. You want to force your chest over your knee and then jump towards the shot. Always keep your eyes focused on the ball and outstretch both hands for the best technique and the best chance to turn that diving save into a proper hold. The modern goalkeeper needs to be able to control the ball at their feet and to make accurate passes out of the back of the field. Most coaches do not want their keeper just blasting a ball up every time it gets sent back, and they will emphasize the want to keep possession of the ball. Remember, whenever you just blast the ball up, you are sending it for a 50-50 chance that might end up in a counterattack, which means before you kick, you should always check your wings for open defenders that will allow your team to build up some passes out of the back and keep possession of the ball, forcing the other team to chase the ball and get tired. When dealing with a back pass, you want to make sure your first touch keeps the ball within 2 steps of your body, which lets you make a quick kick if pressure comes on and will also show a sense of control in the back. Strikers who come running at you should not have any chance with these balls, which means you need to keep it close enough to make a snap pass. The next form of distribution is the punt. First, the keeper should always service their kick with their opposite hand. I see too many keepers get comfortable using their right hand to kick with their right foot and vice versa, which might work but will not give you the full extent of power that you can create with a punt. There are also 2 forms of the punt. The first is a service low in front of the keeper, which blasts the ball straight up with a lot of hang time. The other is a side volley where the keeper sets the ball much higher up and to the side of their body. The side volley is a lot more accurate and has a little arc to the path of the pass. My personal favorite is the side volley, and if done well, it can lead to some amazing pinpoint passes out of the back of any part of the field. And my personal favorite form of distribution is the long throw. If done well, it can be the most accurate and quickest form of distribution that can result in an automatic counterattack. But the long throw is all about technique and form. First, you want to cradle the ball in your dominant hand while using the opposite hand as a counterweight to the throw. Next, you point your opposite hand well above the area you are aiming towards and pull that hand down while windmilling the hand with the ball over your shoulder and releasing it at eye level. The most important part of this pass is that it has no arc. The ball must comfortably land under your teammate's knee, making it easier for them to automatically turn and pass the ball. I recommend making the ball take a quick skip before reaching the striker. It will then reach them, and like a typical pass, they will be able to work right away towards the opposing side's goal. These are just some of the aspects coaches will look for in a tryout. Remember, every coach is different, so not everyone will focus on the same areas. But if you can get a good foothold in positioning, proper holds, attacking high balls, diving, and simple distribution, you have a very good shot at making your team. Hey keepers, thank you so much for watching my goalkeeper tryout tips video. If you liked it, please share it with your fellow keepers. Thank you guys again, and I'll see you guys again very soon.